They told me the hull was clean. No barnacles. No cracks. Just a quick in-and-out dive to log some maintenance data for the shipping company. Easy money. I'd done this job 100 times before. The water was calm. Visibility was decent, and I was 30 meters down in less than a minute. But the moment I reached the underside of the ship, I felt it. That damn feeling. Like someone, or something, was staring at me. And I don't mean the usual "you're alone in the ocean" kind of paranoia. I mean targeted, focused, heavy. I turned off my comms for a second. Just wanted to hear the water. Silence, cold and smooth. Then click. A sound, sharp and distant, like claws tapping metal. I scanned with my flashlight. The beam cut through the dark, bouncing off barnacle scars and rusty bolts. But then it landed on something different. Something flat. It looked like the sand bed beneath the ship had been disturbed. Like something huge had been dragged out from under it. Smooth grooves in the sediment. Too clean. Too precise. Like paths. I should have surfaced. I should have hit the abort. But instead, I moved closer. That's when I saw them. Eyes. Dozens of them. Reflecting light from below the sand. Not fish eyes. Not like anything I'd seen on sharks or squids. These were big. Human-sized. But black.
No irises. No blink.
Just watching me. I froze. My limbs locked. I wanted to move, but I couldn't turn away. Then the sand bubbled, and something shifted underneath it. The eyes disappeared. Gone. I turned and kicked up toward the hull, fast. My gear felt heavier than ever. My heartbeat was pounding in my ears, echoing louder than the regulator's hiss. As I swam, I looked back. Nothing. Just clouded water and the ship's underbelly. Then my flashlight died. Total black. I swear. I heard something moving below, sliding through the water. Not fast, but deliberate. Slow enough that I could feel it thinking. Hunting. I hit the emergency line. Surfacing. Now. The dive team answered, confused. You're only 5 minutes in. Status? I didn't respond. Couldn't. I just kept climbing. When I broke the surface, I ripped off my mask and sucked air like a man who'd been buried alive. I looked down one last time. Ripples. Not from me. Something had surfaced just beneath the ship for a second, then vanished. They thought I had nitrogen narcosis, that I was seeing things, but I've never gone that deep again. And I won't, because I know what I saw, and it saw me too. 2 weeks later, they called me again. Routine dive, they said. New vessel, shallow sight. We trust you. I said no. They doubled the pay. I said hell no. Then they sent me the footage. A camera drone picked up something under the same ship I'd worked on. Grainy, low-res, but clear enough. For a second, something massive moved just outside the light. No visible form. Just shifting shadows and 2 large, black shapes. Eyes. Same ones. The thing hadn't left. And now they wanted to find out what it was. So I made the worst decision of my life. I said yes. This time I was part of a 2-diver team. Me and Logan. New kid. Overconfident. Joked the whole boat ride there. Didn't shut up about sharks and treasure. The ocean was darker that day. I don't know how, but it was. We dropped down. 15 meters. 30. Nothing but the belly of the ship above, swaying gently in the current. We split up, standard sweep. I stuck close to the keel. Ice scanning, light steady. Then Logan's voice crackled through comms. Dude, are there lights down here? I froze. What lights? Below me. Like eyes. But not eyes. They're blinking. No. Logan, surface. Now. No response. Just static. And then, screaming. Sharp, wet, garbled screaming. Cut off. Silence. I turned and aimed my light downward. And there it was. The sand beneath me rose. Slowly. Like something huge was pushing upward. Eyes emerged again. Too many. Shimmering in a ring. But this time, they weren't just watching. They were moving. The thing was surfacing. I swam up hard. Fins kicking like hell. My gear rattling. Bubbles exploding from my reg. I heard it following, felt the water displace behind me. A deep rumble, not sound, pressure, in my chest, in my spine. Then the ship's hull shook. Hard, metal groaned. I hit the surface, tore off my mask, and shouted, "Get US out!" They pulled me up, but not Logan. We dragged sonar. Nothing. We scanned for hours. Zero trace.
No gear. No oxygen tank.
Not even a single damn bubble. Gone. They made me sign paperwork.
Media.
Safety protocols. Said Logan's family would be taken care of. I didn't ask. I left the coast that week. Quit diving. Took a job in the mountains. But at night, when the wind's low, sometimes I hear water. And I swear, I see those eyes, just waiting. It started on dive number 37. We were charting an old trench off the coast of Iceland. Me and 2 others. Private contractor gig. No records. No names. Just a deep black crevice and the promise of big money. Day 1, normal. Equipment worked fine. Water cold, visibility good. Sonar mapped a clean path down the drop. Day 2, we went deeper. That's when it began. At first, I thought it was feedback in my comms. Faint crackle. But then words. Whispered. They weren't in English. Hell, they weren't even human. I paused. Heart thudding. "You guys hear that?" Static. Then Alan replied, "Hear what?" But the whispering didn't stop. It grew louder. Closer. I shut off my comms. Still heard them. That night, I barely slept. My dreams were flooded. Cold water, pale faces, long arms reaching from the dark. Next morning, I didn't say anything. I didn't want to look crazy. But then Maria said it. "You guys hear, like, voices? Down there." Alan went pale. We all did. Because now we weren't imagining it. We dropped again that afternoon. Deeper than before. No fish. No movement. Just the crevice, wide and silent. Like a black mouth waiting to breathe in. About 70 meters down, I heard it again. Clearer. Closer. A voice inside my helmet. Said my name. Not just once. It sang it. Jake. Jayahake. I spun, light slicing the black. Nothing. Then Maria screamed. A shriek that cut straight through my bones. I turned and saw her flailing, kicking, twisting. Her light was gone. Just blinking red. We swam to her, pulled her up together. Alan checked her tank, still full.
No rapture.
She just kept screaming. When we surfaced, she was still screaming. She didn't stop for 2 hours. Then she went silent, stared at the sea, and whispered something back. Maria didn't talk much after that. She just sat on the boat, humming softly, eyes never leaving the water. Alan wanted to call it off. Said we were pushing too deep, too fast. But I couldn't stop. The trench, it pulled at me. Something wanted us to come back. And I listened. That night, Maria disappeared. Gone. No splash, no sound. Just her gear, folded neatly on the deck. The only thing left behind was a wet trail, leading to the edge of the boat. Alan wanted to go to the Coast Guard. I told him we had to finish the job. That was mistake number 1. We dove the next morning. Just me and Alan. The trench was darker than before, like the ocean itself was holding its breath. About 100 meters down, Alan's light cut out. He froze, panicked. Then the whispers returned. Hundreds of them. They spoke in unison. A chant, slow and ancient. Alan started muttering back. His eyes went glassy behind his mask. I tried to grab him. Too late. He kicked free of me, swimming toward the trench wall. I shouted. He didn't listen. And then, the wall opened, like it was alive. Stone folded inward, revealing a tunnel, black, pulsing, breathing. Alan swam inside. I didn't follow. I surfaced alone. That was 5 days ago. No one believes me. They say the currents pulled them under. That pressure made me hallucinate. But they didn't hear what I heard. They didn't feel what I felt. The whispers still follow me, even on land. They hum through the pipes in my house, echo in the hum of the fridge. Every time I close my eyes, I see that trench open again. And I swear, I hear Alan calling, not for help, but for me. We were deep-sea welders working on a pipeline south of Bermuda. The job was routine 40-minute intervals, rotating shifts, keep the line hot, move on. But something was off from the start. Our sonar kept glitching. Maps showed structures that didn't exist, then blinked them out like nothing happened. The deeper we went, the more the data failed. And then the pressure changed. I don't mean it increased, no. I mean it shifted in ways that didn't make sense. The gauge would dip, then spike, then go dead. I've been diving 20 years. I've never felt anything like it. Felt like something was breathing around us. First time I said it, the others laughed. Second time, they didn't, because they started to feel it too. Like the water wasn't water anymore. Like it had weight.
Intention.
Then came the knocking. 3 short taps. From the outside of the sub. We weren't docked. No one was scheduled to dive. Just 3 knocks. And then silence. We checked the feeds. External cams showed nothing. Just black water and sediment. But the knocks kept coming. Every 3rd hour. Always the same rhythm. 3. And then nothing. We got paranoid. Started recording everything. Logging every movement. Every sound. Until one night, the pressure dipped hard. Like a vacuum sucked the ocean away. And then it came back, slamming everything in place. We lost lights, nav power, and when we rebooted, there was something on the cam. Not a person, not a fish, just a shape, floating, twisting slowly. It had no face, but it was watching. I froze watching that thing drift across the screen. No one spoke. We just stared, waiting for it to blink, to twitch, to move. But it didn't. It hovered like it had always been there. Like we were the intruders. Corey, our tech, reached for the comms to report in. That's when it moved. Just a flicker. 1 second, it was 20 feet from the sub. Next second, it was at the glass. No swim, no motion, just there. The shape pulsed. Not flesh, not metal, just black static. Like the signal itself was bleeding into the sea. The glass creaked. Not from pressure, but from inside. I swear it looked at Corey. Then his headset burst into static. He screamed, grabbed at his ears, blood pouring out. He dropped, seizing. We pulled him back, but he was gone. Eyes wide open, jaw locked. His last words? "It's not alone." I tried to surface. Backup power barely responded. But the pressure was wrong again, like the ocean reversed itself. Outside the viewport, more shapes formed. 3, then 5, then dozens. All floating, all faceless, all watching. Each one humming soft, low tones that vibrated in our bones. I started praying. The others did too. Didn't matter. One by one, we lost lights again. Each time they blinked off, someone disappeared.
No screams.
Just gone. Until it was just me. Drifting, blind, choking on fear. And then I heard it. In my headset. A whisper. Clear as ice. "You heard us. Now join us." I woke up 3 days later. Washed up on the deck of a passing trawler. No suit. No sub. No others. Just me. And a strange hum in my ears. Doctors say I have permanent auditory hallucinations. But I know the truth. They let me go. For now. Because somewhere in that black grid beneath the sea, they're still knocking. We were hired to investigate a wreck. Simple salvage job. Coordinates dropped by a satellite drone. No ID. No distress call. Just metal on the seafloor. Easy money, they said. But the ship didn't show up on sonar. Not at first. We circled for an hour. Then it just appeared.
No transition.
No fade in. Just there. I don't mean we found it. I mean it manifested. Full structure. Mid-size vessel. Black hull. No markings. Our dive team, me, Jules, and Mason, went down. First weird thing, the water around it was warm, like a bath. Second, radio cut out the second we touched the hull. No static, just silence. We tethered ourselves to the support line and went inside. The ship wasn't rusted. It wasn't flooded. It looked preserved, as if it had just been built and immediately sunk. Mason found the first body in the galley, seated, upright, hands still gripping a spoon halfway to its mouth. Mummified. Jules backed away, shaking. She bumped a cabinet. It swung open and more bodies fell out, all frozen in mid-action, eating, laughing. One guy had a guitar in hand, mouth open like he was singing. But they'd been down there for decades. We checked the timestamp on the ship's internal clock. It read midnight, like time never started for them, or never stopped. Then the lights flickered on. I mean ship lights. Power systems lit up, humming, doors unlocking. That's when we heard it. The intercom. Click, hiss, then a woman's voice. Please return to your stations. The sea is watching. I grabbed Jules and Mason. We started heading back out, but the hallway behind us had changed. Longer, narrower, and there were footprints on the floor. Vite, leading toward us. Jules panicked. She turned and bolted down the opposite corridor. I chased her, Mason right behind me, but the ship didn't make sense anymore. Rooms shifted. Doors led to nowhere. One hallway twisted back into itself like a spiral. Jules screamed from ahead. We found her in the observation room. She was pointing through the glass. I looked. Outside the wreck, we saw ourselves. 3 divers, tethered, swimming toward the ship. Only it wasn't real. Our suits looked older, outdated, and behind the figures, dozens more drifted in the black water. Some in gear from the 80s, some in no gear at all. Just eyes, staring, unmoving, open wide like they were still drowning. Then the intercom buzzed again. Your shift is not complete. Return. The room vibrated. Lights dimmed. Mason stepped back, hit a button. Blast door slammed shut between us and our escape. We were sealed in. The glass cracked. Water seeped in from the vents. Not fast, but deliberate. Rhythmic, like the ship was breathing us in. Jules backed into a wall, hands over her mouth, whispering prayers. Mason tried his torch on the door. It sparked once, then died. The intercom again. Time resets. You begin again. And then it hit me. The wreck wasn't just haunted. It was a loop, a trap, feeding on divers, replaying scenes, building its crew. I yanked open an emergency panel, rerouted power from my tank into the main breaker. It blew out every light but reset the doors. We ran. Didn't look back. Didn't speak. The tether line was gone, but we swam up blind. Somehow we broke the surface. The support boat was empty, just running idle, engine humming. No trace of the crew. Only a radio left on the deck, looping the same static phrase. Return to your station. The sea is watching. It's been months. Mason won't talk. Jules left the company. As for me, I dream in zeros. Time blinking, always back at midnight. And every time I close my eyes, I hear the sea breathing. I should have trusted my gut. 3 months planning, checking gear, mapping the site. But the second we dropped into the water, I knew something was off. It was too quiet, too still. Me, Alex, and Jenna, we were 50 meters down off the coast of some uncharted shelf no one dared to dive. We weren't there for fun. We were chasing a wreck, one that wasn't supposed to exist. Visibility was garbage. Just a narrow cone of light from my torch, barely cutting through the murk. The water pressed in from all sides, heavy, like it didn't want us there. I tapped Alex's tank. Anything? He shook his head, but his eyes wide, darting, told a different story. We kept going, deeper. Then we heard it. A scraping sound, metal on stone, slow, deliberate. It echoed through the water like nails dragging across a hull. Jenna stiffened. She looked at me, eyes asking the question none of us wanted to say out loud. Did you hear that too? We paused. No bubbles, no fish, nothing. Just waiting. Then I saw movement. Not fast. Not natural. A shadow slid along the edge of my light, then vanished. I signaled, follow me. We moved toward where it disappeared. A faint light flickered below. Not our lights. Not natural. It pulsed like a heartbeat buried in the black. As we got closer, shapes emerged. Wood. Rotted beams. Rusted metal curved like ribs. It was a shipwreck, but not any kind I'd seen. This thing was ancient, but not broken. It looked like it sank last week. And from inside it, a soft, steady glow. Like someone left the lights on. Alex's voice crackled in my headset. We shouldn't be here. I didn't answer. I couldn't look away. Jenna pointed at the wreck. Her hand was shaking. Something was moving inside. Slowly. Like it knew we were watching. Then came the sound. A low creak. Not from us, from the ship. Something inside shifted. The glow flickered. Then snapped. A loud crack like a hatch slamming shut. And the light went out. Just like that. Gone. Darkness swallowed everything. We were alone again, but it didn't feel empty. It felt like something was holding its breath. Waiting. We bolted. No discussion. No plan. Just raw panic. Kicked upward hard. But the ocean didn't feel the same. It felt heavier. Thicker. Like we were swimming through oil. Lights off. No markers. No surface in sight. Just black water pressing on our backs. Then I felt it. A tug on my leg. Not seaweed. Not current. Fingers. Cold. Long. Wrapping around my ankle. I screamed into my mouthpiece. Spun around, kicking hard. Nothing there. Nothing visible. Just the feeling, and then it let go. I kept moving. No time to think. I couldn't see Alex. Couldn't see Jenna. I was alone. And that's when the sound came back. That metal scrape. Closer this time. Right beneath me. Then I saw light. Not a head below. A pulse. Just like before. Like the wreck was calling us back. Hell no. I turned. Swam harder than I ever have in my life. Heartbeat pounding so loud I swore it echoed in the water. Then, out of nowhere, Jenna. She slammed into me, wide-eyed, grabbing my vest. No way out, she mouthed through her mask. What? I shook my head. She pointed up, and that's when I saw it. Dark shapes. Above us. Not clouds. Not fish. Shadows. Circling. We dove sideways, trying to escape. But the deeper we went, the brighter the pulse became. It was drawing us in. Like gravity. Like it was feeding off our fear. Alex's voice came through, barely audible. I see it. I see faces. Then static. And silence. No bubbles. No signal. Alex was gone. Jenna clutched my arm. We need to go. Now. But I couldn't move. Something was in front of us. Rising from the seabed. Tall. Human-shaped, but wrong. Too thin. Too long. Its eyes, if you could call them that, glowed like coals underwater. It didn't swim. It drifted. Like it belonged to the dark. Jenna yanked me backward. We turned and kicked. Fast, blind, desperate. My tank scraped something sharp. Pain tore down my back. Didn't matter. We kept going. I don't remember reaching the surface. Just the cold air. The sound of my own gasping. We broke through together, choking, coughing. But only two of us. Alex never came up. They never found him. They searched for weeks, no trace. No body. No gear. Just the wreck. Glowing faintly on sonar, then nothing. The sea swallowed it again. I don't dive anymore. Not because I'm afraid of drowning. I'm afraid of what's waiting down there. Still watching. Still listening. Still hungry.